We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not.
Donald Trump dropped an explosive bomb. He made it clear, louder, and unfiltered.
We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not.
The United States will take over Greenland. The message now sent shockwaves across Europe. The stage is now set for a showdown between Washington and the European Union. Reports suggest that the UK and EU are considering troops for Greenland to avert a US takeover. The Telegraph reported that UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is discussing a potential NATO military deployment to Greenland with European allies. The plan involves British soldiers, warships, and aircraft to guard the world's largest island. That is not all. A more extreme option is also on the table. The Telegraph noted that the EU might ask the US to evict its bases in Europe. The EU is also preparing retaliatory sanctions on US companies, including restrictions on Meta, Google, Microsoft, X, and US banks. However, Starmer earlier downplayed the Greenland dispute.
Regarding Greenland, the response of the United Kingdom, I have already made very clear statements personally yesterday and today together with our partners. I will be very clear. Our ties between the United Kingdom and the United States are among the closest we have regarding defense, security, and intelligence matters. Every day and every night we work with the United States on these issues. But as for today, our coalition of the willing was established about a year ago to achieve a lasting and just peace. We know that for this, security guarantees are needed. We worked on this militarily, which was prepared at the beginning of last year. We also worked before they were clarified and they became clear. Today, we advanced on the political aspects of the declaration and today's engagements, knowing that the number of leaders present is unprecedented. Everyone gathered around the same table with our American colleagues to work on these issues. It is about the political declaration. We have also made progress on the security guarantee issue. They were described in the document we distributed. We mentioned working with the United States on monitoring the ceasefire compliance, the guarantee of support for Ukraine in deploying military forces, like Jared, whom I want to thank, and Steve, for all the work that was done regarding security guarantees, and thank them for being present with us today. But peace will not be possible solely through progress achieved within the coalition, such as today. I am very happy that almost a year after the decision to create this coalition, we have been able to make progress. No one is saying this is resolved or that there are no questions. It is obvious that progress is still possible, but what we have achieved today is very important for Ukraine, for Europe, and for the United Kingdom, because it concerns our security, our protection, and our freedom. And we have already seen what the consequences are, what the consequences can be, particularly in Europe and the United Kingdom regarding the conflict in Ukraine.
Europe is on edge after Trump on January 9th dropped a bombshell. He said he would like to make a deal to acquire Greenland because if the US doesn't own it, he claimed Russia or China will take over it.
Policy question. How much money are you thinking of giving people in Greenland to get them on board with a possible U.S. takeover?
I'm not talking about money for Greenland yet. I might talk about that. But right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland. And we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. Okay? I would like to make a deal, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way. And by the way, I'm a fan of Denmark too. I have to tell you, and they've been very nice to me. I'm a big fan, but the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land. I'm sure we had lots of boats go there also. But we need that because if you take a look outside of Greenland right now, There are Russian destroyers, there are Chinese destroyers and bigger, there are Russian submarines all over the place. We're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland, and that's what they're going to do if we don't. So we're going to be doing something with Greenland, either the nice way or the more difficult way. Please, go ahead, ma'am.
Mr. President, why is it so important to you to own it when you have a military presence there, which you could expand to affect the security?
Because when we own it, we defend it. You don't defend leases the same way. You have to own it. And, you know, with a nation, look at what happened with Obama, with that horrible deal they made with Iran. It was a short-term deal. It was like a 9-year deal. Countries can't make 9-year deals or even 100-year deals. Countries have to have ownership. And you defend ownership, you don't defend leases. And we'll have to defend Greenland. If we don't do it, China or Russia will. It's not going to happen. We are not going to have, and I like China, I like Russia, I love the people of China, I love the people of Russia. I get along very well with President Putin, but I'm very disappointed in him. I get along very well with President Xi. I'm going to go over to China in April, but I don't want them as a neighbor in Greenland. Not going to happen. And by the way, and NATO's got to understand that. I'm all for NATO. I saved NATO. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have a NATO right now. But we're not going to allow Russia or China to occupy Greenland, and that's what's going to happen if we don't.
Greenland is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. It holds rare earth minerals, has missile tracking zones, and is also home to Arctic sea lanes and strategic air and naval corridors. The control over Greenland means dominating the North Atlantic. The cold Arctic is heating up as the Greenland Gambit has begun.